Om Tat Sat. My humble prostrations to the all-pervading Brahman, to my worshipful Guru, Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj, to all the sages and saints of this world, and to you divine souls watching today's satsang. Today we will be studying Sutra number 19 of the Samadhi Pad from the Raja Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, commentary by Swami Jyotirmayananda, my Guruji, and explained, narrated by Swami Nikhilananda, myself. So the Sutra number 19 is Bhav Pratyayo Videha Prakriti Layanam. Again, let's repeat. Bhav Pratyayo Videha Prakriti Layanam. So, Bhav Pratyayo means by the mere cause of human birth. Videha Prakritir Layanam, for those who are merged in Sananda Samadhi as well as those who are merged in Sasmita Samadhi. So, for Videhas and Prakriti layas. So, remember the four stages in the initial stages that we had talked about, which was Vitarkanugat, Vicharanugat, and then Anandanugat and Sasmitanugat. So, he says those final two samadhis. So the first two, you have to, of course we are born in all four samadhis, but there's a lot more effort if you were just in the first two stages. But if you had graduated to the last two, which means if you were in the Asmitanugat or Anandanugat, a human birth alone is enough to cause the highest samadhi to arise, which means that you have already done so much effort. I think we covered this a little bit in the last sutra, but this sutra is validating that. It says for people who have done that much. So the other point is that every effort you are putting in towards this path is well received by the divine energy. It rewards you. Nothing gets to waste. Just like when you learn how to ride a bicycle, after 20 years you still know how to do it. If you learn how to swim, you can swim. So when in this world itself you're keeping your talents, these talents and skill and effort does not get wasted just by change in bodies. You start from where you left off. So that's an important point you need to understand. So put in your best effort and hopefully you try to get it all within this body itself. But if you are not very intense and then something happens and we pass away, know that you are already having an insurance policy. You start from that point. Your degree is always good. So you start from the next level, in other words. So here they're saying yogis who die having attained the level of Sananda Samadhi are called Videhas. Videha means without body. Videha, no body. So they have destroyed their identification with the body at that point, but they have not attained the fullness of self-realization. See, so they're halfway, in transit, in other words, didn't have done, made progress, but haven't reached self-realization. So after death they enjoy boundless bliss in the plane of the pure mind and are then reborn in the family of yogis, where they need not put forth any effort to enter into samadhi. It comes naturally. The nature gives them such a birth where they're already being born in that state, and they bring their own efforts as well. The very fact of embodiment has exhausted their obstructed karma, and they enter into asampragyata without any effort. See, normally to reach to the asampragyat state, which is the higher samadhi, as you know, it's a long path, and therefore we need to do many things, including bhajan, kirtan, relying on God, doing our own effort, and leaving no stone unturned, because the rewards are so phenomenal that it decodes the whole process of the what we call creation. So the same applies to Prakriti Layas who have attained Sasmita Samadhi. So Videhas are the people who have gone through the bliss part of it, and Sasmita is one advanced level, people who have reached even Sasmita Samadhi. right at the ego level, but did not go further. So after death, they merge themselves into Prakriti and enjoy the bliss of liberated souls for a long time. They enjoy that. But they also must be reborn in order to attain the fullness of liberation. So basically, they're just born, they come out, and then they get liberated, which means only one more birth left versus the cycle, endless cycle. So this is why we should do the effort regardless, because the results are so worth it. For example, the Aitreya Upanishad describes how sage Vamadeva, he was still in the womb of his mother, he declared, but he had done a lot of penance before, and he was at the point where he had reached to Asmita Samadhi. He says, although I am still in the womb, I have realized the birth of gods. Many fetters of karma had held me in bondage, but now I have broken them all. I am like a hawk. I have become free to fly in the realm of freedom. So, which means as soon as he is born, he is liberated. He doesn't have to do all that tapas and effort that somebody else who is a sadhak is doing. So there is no, when you look at the body, you don't look at the physical age, you look at the spiritual age, how long a soul has been coming from and what have they achieved. This is an illustration of bhava pratyaya, yogis who attain samadhi as spontaneously as young birds learn to fly. Just like birds, when they're because through practice they're born and they fly. And same thing with such a yogi, they will get into samadhi immediately. But other yogis who fell from yoga without attaining the highest state of samadhi must take recourse to upayas. Upayas are means, spiritual means, efforts. So this is explained in the Sutra number 20, and we will discuss that tomorrow. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Om Tat Sat.